Terra NFTs are exploding, more UST adoption for Polygon and Polkadot, the Kinetic Protocol goes live, and a whole bunch more. This is the Lunar Orbit Podcast, and today is Tuesday, the 19th of April of 2022. Now smash that like button and let's slide into it.
Le valió madre.
So the first thing I wanted to cover today, guys, was the Landslide subnet, which is the new gaming subnet that is going to be spun up on Avalanche in conjunction with Terra. So it's been dubbed Landslide, and it looks like there's going to be an airdrop. What's really interesting is they're not airdropping their own token. They're going to be airdropping UST, Luna, Ankh, and Lido. And I think basically reading between the lines, one of the native tokens of that chain that you can transact in will be UST. And as I've mentioned previously, I think UST is going to be a really useful way for people to transact within play to earn gaming, because it makes a lot of sense to have a stable token at the heart of it, something that's not volatile and that's pegged to a real world asset in the US dollar. So that's going to be very interesting to see the finer details of that airdrop come out and how that's going to be dispersed. But it looks like by being part of the Terra and Avalanche ecosystems, there's a good chance we're going to be getting some extra airdrops coming our way. Maybe the games that spin up within these ecosystems, perhaps they do have their own tokens as well, and that might be another mechanism to get further airdrops. Do Kwon has mentioned in the past that most of the major Korean game developers are working on Web3 gaming, so hopefully some of them end up on this Landslide subnet. Now the next thing I wanted to cover was this tweet thread by Staderlabs, which covers a lot of news and amalgamates it all into one thread. There is an awful lot of integrations coming to other blockchains, including Polygon, Phantom, Solana, Polkadot, and Kusama. The Greenhouse DEX on Polygon is a new carbon neutral DEX that's spinning up, and they're going to use UST as their native stablecoin. Now if we jump over to their website for Greenhouse here, we can see some of the farming options that you've got, and a lot of them are paired with UST. So you can farm UST in wrapped ETH, getting about 41% APR paid out in some swap fees and green token rewards. There's also the green token itself being paired with UST, and then there's a UST USDC pair, so people can come with USDC and swap into UST. That's a nice little stablecoin yield as well, 25% on your stablecoins. In similar fashion, ProtoFi on Phantom is also going to be adopting UST as its native stablecoin. It's super bullish to see new dApps adopting UST as their native stablecoin. We've got the Zigzag exchange on a ZK Sync rollup that uses UST natively, and we now have the Greenhouse Protocol, ProtoFi, and also the Phezzan Protocol has just announced that it's also going to be using UST, but even better than that, it's going to be using AUST, the UST that is deposited into Anchor Earn. It's going to be an options DEX that runs on a ZK Sync rollup on Ethereum. It's going to be earning you anchor interest on UST while you use that UST in options trading. So that's really interesting as well, and it's really bullish to see that Ethereum-based dApps and other L1-based dApps opting to use UST from day one as their native stablecoin. You can't get any better marketing for UST than that. So that's incredibly encouraging, and it's going to provide further adoption for UST. It's already doing really well. We can see a crazy amount of UST being minted. UST has now flipped Binance USD to become the third largest stablecoin overall. So it's got a market cap of over $17.5 billion currently. And when you look back to only October last year, I think we were around $3 billion. So there's been an incredible amount of growth in UST, and it's incredibly bullish for the ecosystem. Now it looks like Anchor is also about to get B-Sol as collateral. So in the last few weeks, we've added AVAX, B-Atom, we're about to have B-Sol, and in further adoption news, there's now a partnership with Kusama and Polkadot via the Acala network. That means we're also going to get staked versions of Kusama and Polkadot available as collateral on Anchor soon. The Acala network itself is a DeFi parachain on Kusama and Polkadot. It's going to be using the Wormhole bridge. So suddenly there's going to be a conduit for UST into the entire Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems. So again, that's another positive headwind for UST adoption, and it allows Terra users to more easily bridge across into a whole new DeFi ecosystem in Kusama and Polkadot, which is again two more collateral types to borrow against on Anchor. Now it remains to be seen if Anchor itself is going to have a front end on Kusama and Polkadot networks via Acala, but it certainly means that there's going to be more collateral types to borrow against within Anchor, which should help boost the amount of yield that can be generated by Anchor. Before I continue, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Hi, I'm Gerry, host of the Lunar Orbit podcast, where I provide regular alpha and updates on all things Terra Luna. And if you enjoy this content, consider supporting the channel by smashing that like button, hitting subscribe, and hitting the notifications bell so you get all my videos in a timely fashion. Now, the next thing I wanted to touch on is NFTs. The Terra NFT ecosystem is tiny compared to that of Solana, and Solana itself only makes up about 2% of the entire NFT ecosystem. So there is an awful lot of growth potential in NFTs for Terra. The Terra Valley Twitter feed is excellent, and I highly recommend giving them a follow because they drop regular infographics with some really interesting statistics, and they just dropped this one on NFTs. Now, having a look at some of these statistics, they're quite mind-blowing how much we've grown in just the last 7 weeks or so since the start of March. The Random Earth NFT marketplace has had nearly 7,000% growth in 7 weeks. Nowhere.art has had even higher than that, and One Planet has blown them both away with 27,000% growth. And we've seen the floors rising on several prominent NFT projects such as the Galactic Punks, the Lunar Bulls, and several others. You can imagine what happens if Terra starts to eat in some of the market share of Ethereum and even Solana. There is a tremendous amount of growth potential in NFTs and potential inflows of new users into the Terra ecosystem. Now, one really handy feature with Terra and a lot of these marketplaces is the NFTs can be priced in Luna and UST. Some people don't like spending their crypto to buy NFTs, but when they see a price in US dollars, it's often a lot easier for people to comprehend the actual value of what they're purchasing. So again, that's just another catalyst for Terra and UST adoption. Also on NFTs, a new play-to-earn NFT gaming experience is about to start, with the Deviants Factions game about to launch. Deviants Factions is a play-to-earn card trading game, similar to Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering or Gods Unchained on Immutable X. It's a play-to-earn card battling game, but there's also a secondary market where you can buy and sell and upgrade your deck. Their Outbreak event, which allows users to open their packs and reveal their cards, is about to go live. Now, if you're holding Deviant Factions packs, it's worth noting that the sooner you open them, the higher serial number you'll get on your cards. Now, it has no in-game effect, but from a collectability point of view, having the first serial number of a card will surely increase its value on the secondary markets. And the really awesome thing about it is the play-to-earn gaming model is centered around UST and is sustainable over time. So if you want to start earning some UST rewards for crafting a great deck and becoming one of the better players within the ecosystem, it's probably best to get started as soon as possible. Now, finally, I wanted to mention the Kinetic Protocol. The protocol has fully launched now and is live. And if you participated in phase 1 and phase 2 of the token launch, you are whitelisted to be able to start borrowing some KUST and have some self-repaying loans. They did have some teething problems in the first 24 hours, some UI bugs, and it was taking a while for the whitelisted participants to get processed, but it's all up and running and live now. So if you want to take out a self-repaying loan, you'll be able to. If you're not on that whitelist, you'll be able to start borrowing against your UST for self-repaying loans in about 4 days' time. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoy this content, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and maybe consider watching one of my other videos.